Hey, it's 7 o'clock. Meeting order. I'll show the Concord, the service. Meeting by, sleep. They're able.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Welcome, everybody. People on this cold night. Let's move on to the agenda. Any additions or deletions?
Mr. Mayor, we had crossed off Ashley Boros, for the fire department. Thank you. She will not be here in person, but she did send, Chief Zumberg, a letter, and I will read it, into the record on behalf of the fire department.
So you want to leave it on there?
Yes, please leave it on there and I will just read her letter into the record.
Okay, Council?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Make a motion to approve the agenda?
Have a motion,
I'll second.
second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That carries. We'll move on to the consent agenda. Anybody have anything they wish to remove? I don't, 3.6, I just so curious how it came about I'm in all favor of it, don't get me wrong.
I think, so when I'm gonna look to those two over here to help my memory. But when we met with Sherburne County, preliminarily before they started construction, we had talked about the fact that the speed limit changes at Tiger Boulevard and goes to 45 miles an hour. And we had thought that when they put the signs up when construction was done, that the 45 mile an hour sign would be south of the intersection. And I'm seeing them nod at me. But then it's back in its original place. So, there's been just some email conversations with the assistant.
We gotta go do all this.
Yeah.
That's understandable.
Yep.
Okay, anybody else got anything?
Nope.
Nope. No. Right, we need action.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
We have a motion,
Second.
second, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That carries. We will move on to the open forum. Anybody wishes to speak, 3-minute limit. We will not discuss legal matters. They have to be, items that are not on the agenda. Anybody wish to? Mr. Mayor?
Well, morning, everybody, or afternoon, because it's not morning anymore.
What's already never
It's gonna be morning again soon enough. Tom Walker, 312 7th Avenue South, Princeton. I think you all have the letter that I'm gonna read in your packet tonight. You do not,
I didn't share that.
you didn't share that, okay.
I've got a copy of it here, things they want.
Now I'm gonna preface it by saying this isn't necessarily a political statement as much as it's a logistical statement that I'm gonna make. And with that, I'll just go ahead and read this, and I've got a couple follow-up things to add that weren't on the original letter, but I guess you don't know what was on there to start with, so here we go. I want to speak about the Princeton Police Department and its relationship to federal law enforcement. With recent actions by ICE, Homeland Security, and Border Patrol, I'm very concerned, even angered by what I see and hear. I'm angered by the response of those that condone and accept the action that separates families, cause fear, even terrorize communities. I'm especially horrified by the shooting in Minneapolis last week where an ICE agent shot a woman. That's a tragedy. And I've had many conversations with Police Chief Fredericks about, possible excessive force by the police in this community, excuse me, and was gratified by the emphasis on de-escalation. What we are all seeing from federal law enforcement is the opposite of de-escalation. So I have some questions. What is the policy of the Princeton Police Department regarding cooperation with ICE, Border Patrol, and Homeland Security. For ease of conversation, I'm just gonna say ICE from here on out. Will Princeton Police Department protect our citizens from ICE when they come to town? Will they protect me from ICE? Because they look at dissent and criticism as lawlessness. The fact that unlawful speech is even part of the conversation should send shivers down the spine of every American. When ICE comes to town, and they will, what will the response be? There isn't a lot of time to decide. They were in Elk River and St. Cloud this last week. You know, what is the role of Princeton Police Department? Look away, resist, protect? Who will they protect? Will they protect ICE, people who drive in white vans? People who aren't white? Equal justice under the law is a responsibility for everyone, especially law enforcement. Without it, you lose legitimacy. When citizens are singled out, improperly taken away without warrants, held in secret locations, it should be an easy call who the bad guys are. Those are the people we need protection from. We as citizens need protection from lawlessness. Those whose grandparents have lived here for generations deserve protection. For those who are new to this country, played by the rules and still separated from their families have been taken away, they needed protection and didn't get it. There has been plenty of time to decide how you will respond, Princeton Police Department. Will you be proud of your response when the time has passed and you explain your actions? I understand that I live in a town where all this deportation and cruelty is not going to happen to me and is acceptable to a lot of people. That doesn't mean that those of us who know that due process and rights and decency are paramount and shouldn't hold you to account. And I've got a couple additional questions, and I don't know if they're rhetorical or not. Number one, is ICE the police? They have police written on their vests. You know, question is what can and what they cannot enforce. They have enforcedly breaking into residences with administrative warrants. Isn't that kind of like writing a note for yourself to say, I can do what I want? How does that exist with Fourth Amendment protection? They have detained US citizens. Can you defend that? Again, what is the statutory role for ICE? Chief, you told me that local law enforcement isn't notified when ICE is in town. How does a 911 call get processed when somebody's taken off the street or out of their home? Do you question where the assailant, Dr. whatever, is impersonating the police? Do you accept the federal intervention as who they say they are? Do you assume that they are acting lawfully? If you determine that they are indeed who they say they are? These are serious questions, and as I said, I'm not so much a political statement, but it's right in the center of politics. So I'm more concerned about chaos and disruption, and we all have plenty of that already. So if you wish to respond, I'll stay up here as long as you like.
This has just been dropped in the former Mr. Mayor, and I think you know the policy as well as I do. Certainly, I'm glad anybody's input on anything. And I would expect we would hopefully address your concerns, but I don't think we can do it in the spur of the moment.
Yeah, no, that's understandable, but you know, I did deliver this letter last week.
Did you have suggestions of how you're wanting the relationship to interact between local law enforcement or peace officers and ICE?
Well, you know, I guess the first thing I would like is the answers to, you know, fact-based questions or fact-based answers to the questions. Is ICE the police? What can they enforce? You know, that's a legal matter. I get you can't discuss it, but that's not really city business. That's for those who know what the law is supposed to be. You know, if there's somebody's breaking into a house without a warrant, what is the recourse? Does Princeton Police help whoever's getting broken into? I mean, this is where we are. We're talking about warrantless searches. This is Bill of Rights stuff right here. This is what America's built on. So, there really should be an articulated answer that you can come up with.
Well, again, as far as I know, and I think the rest of the council, we were just made aware of this tonight, why or why not? I'm gonna go there. I would hope to say, on a personal level, I have never heard any complaints about our police department, me personally.
Well, that's not,
There aren't problems.
go ahead, I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying, I'm sure if we are, hope, I should say, if our police department is not acting properly and enforcing the law they should, I would hope we would be made aware of it.
And what I'll say again is, and I didn't really articulate that so well, I don't have a problem with how the Princeton Police Department has acted. I'm trying to look forward and see how they will act when one of these situations happen in their jurisdiction. And asking the question now is the way that you decide with the cool head how you're gonna respond.
Well, again, I would certainly hope that internally I would hope they are addressing that issue. I mean, as elected, we don't micromanage, I think, that, so. We can have this discussion with the chief, possibly a work session or something, if we think it's, necessary, I guess. And perhaps it is, I don't know. Pretty hard to make decisions on a 5-minute notice.
Yeah, I don't think city council meeting during open forum is the time to get into an in-depth conversation. Mr. Walker, I think if you'd like to come into City Hall and a few of us could come in as well, we could sit down and discuss this with you, but I don't think this was the place.
Like I said, I'm asking the question,
I understand.
and I'm not necessarily wanting a response from me. That's not what I'm here for.
Because we can't do a quorum meeting.
No.
Okay, thank
I
you.
mean, I appreciate your bringing stuff to our attention. And if it is something that needs to be discussed, I would hope that we'll do it. After I can get to the moment.
All I'm saying is, I just want there to be a plan if something happens. That's what I'm asking. I don't care if you share it with me or not. That's not the point.
Mr. Mayor, members.
If you want to speak, Todd, go ahead.
I'll be super quick here.
Yeah.
I've had a phenomenal conversation with Mr. Walker. I feel like I did a fairly decent job of providing you answers. I'm not gonna discuss policy and procedure or tactics. My number one job with my officers in my department is simply this: protect our community, protect our residents, protect our citizens, our businesses, our property, regardless of the situation. But also, like I informed you, it's also to protect other law enforcement officials. Simply that. We can armchair quarterback this all day long, and I necessarily don't know if there's a right answer to anything. But I can tell you that there have been many, many conversations. There has also been many of meetings to oversee what we hope are not problems. You've heard this over and over again with law enforcement. We ask for patience. We are not federal officers. We cannot execute federal warrants. I told you that. Again, our priority simply is our residents, our community. And we ask for patience with people if something were to occur. At this point, there has not been one operation in the city of Princeton until like up to this moment, that I am aware of, as well as the sheriff of both Mille Lacs County and Sherburne County are aware. So
I hope
that would be my
Well, thank you, Todd.
45-second response. It's longer than I wanted.
Now, oh. I'm just glad you were willing to address it. So, thank you. Anything else? If not, we're gonna move on to the Ashley Brothers Fire Department. Thank you.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, members of the council, as indicated, Ashley Boros wanted to provide a thank you to the Princeton Fire Department, but she was unable to be here in person, so I'm going to read the letter that she submitted to the chief. And so, dear Princeton community and Princeton Fire Department, I truly wish that I could be there in person to express my gratitude and appreciation, but unfortunately I have military obligations that prevent me from doing so. I had a house fire in my walls/attic on the evening of 1 January 2026. We were home, thankfully, and were able to call 911 within minutes of the fire starting. The Princeton Fire Department did an amazing job that night. From the moment they arrived, it was clear how much they cared. Their top priority was obviously controlling and diffusing the situation as quickly as possible. While they were doing that, it was clear they were also thinking about keeping damage and mess to a minimum, along with ensuring my tenant and myself were safe and taken care of. They turned a nightmare of mine into a manageable situation and made everything that has followed much easier. I would like to especially give a shout out to Jay, who was on scene within minutes of my 911 call. Between his expertise, calm presence, and timeliness, I truly believed he helped keep the damage under control until the rest of the department arrived. I would also like to extend the thanks all the other first responders, along with the fire department who were involved, for their care and compassion that was shown to all of us there, including my pets. You kept us informed, safe, and made sure we knew the next steps moving forward. Please know that all your work does not go unnoticed. Your dedication, professionalism, and willingness to give up your time to serve and keep this community safe. A true statement to each of your character. Our community is incredibly lucky to have the first responders we have looking out for us. Thank you again for all you did that day and continue to do. I will always be grateful. With sincere appreciation and wishing you a blessed and healthy year, Ashley Boros.
Very good. Good to hear. I hope the department gets that letter copied of, or
They will.
or you will present it to them, or whatever you do.
Yep.
Thank you very much. Good to hear stuff like that. We get so much bad publicity sometimes. It's always good to hear something good. All right, we'll move on. No old business. New business. First item will be 7.1 resolution 26-04.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. Resolution 26-04 is the approval of the preliminary and final plat for Cook's addition to Princeton. On January 20th, which was this past Tuesday, the planning commission unanimously recommended approval to the city council of the preliminary and final plat of Cook's addition, and also approved the developers agreement, which is in your packet, along with Exhibit X that goes with the developers agreement. The developer, Nate Cook, is here in the audience. If anyone has any additional questions, he can help answer those questions. Otherwise, I'll turn it back over to you.
Okay. Guess I'm gonna look at Ben for a second. Everything go good. I read the minutes.
Yeah, everything looked great. There was a few stipulations that we got everything approved through and it looks good.
Yeah, we had a little bit of a mess, you know, with the property lines and stuff up there, and I think they did a satisfactory job of cleaning that up. I drive by there every morning on the way to Quick Trip. I love seeing that backhoe up there. So, yeah, thank you. It's good. It'll be a great addition to the community. Thank you much. So we need action, I guess. Well, I guess, no.
I'll motion to approve resolution 26-04, approval of preliminary and final plat for Cook's addition to Princeton and approval of developers agreement with Exhibit X.
We have a motion and a second. Is there any further discussion, questions? Hearing none, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, and that carries.
We'll build some up.
Yep. A little cold right now, probably.
Take care.
All right, 7.2, resolution 2505, or 2605, Flash Park 3-day sponsorship.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, members of the council. I can't believe that I am bringing this up in negative 22 below weather, but we did get our first, donation for a Splash Park free day from the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. They contributed $250 to have a free day at the Splash Park on July 25th.
Wanted to make sure they got their date.
I was like, oh, but you guys are on it.
We're not gonna use it today, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's good to see it kick off. I hope that's a harbinger of things to come.
Mhm.
Okay, we need action.
I'll make a motion to approve resolution 26-05.
Motion,
One second.
and a second. Any other questions? None in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Whoops, that was an aye. I was delayed.
Okay, that's carried. Okay, consider wine and spirit grant requests.
Mr. Mayor, members of the council, I just, we had a number of, concepts discussed, relating to the wine and spirits grant program while we were doing the budget. I'm not suggesting that the current grant application needs to be changed, but I tried to compile all of the council's thoughts, into a memo, and, the last item is not the Princeton Baseball Club, it's the Princeton Breakfast Club. That was an oops on my part. Yeah. But now would be somewhat of an opportunity, or at least giving us direction if you want to change the application process for 2027. I just tried to compile your thoughts and put together some suggestions. You can take them, leave them, ignore them, whatever the council wants to do. It was just an attempt to pull all your thoughts together, and give you an opportunity to have a discussion if you so desire, before we actually moved on to the applications we have tonight. And the ambassador program that was on will be on the February 12th, because they didn't have sufficient ambassadors to come before you, so. Yes, that'd be delayed.
So, I guess you answered two of my questions. Nothing that would be, what we have in place now is gonna be it. So this would be for looking at down the road or.
I think it would-
Here. I don't like the idea of changing things in kind of the middle of the stream, I guess, so.
Correct.
And not that there isn't some good ideas and suggestions here.
Can you remind me what the total amount in the fund is?
You set this year's budget for $30,000.
I think this would be something great to look at towards the end of the year. Kind of see what the additional money that, see where that goes throughout the year. And able to make those
Yeah.
changes before next year, then I think would be
That was kind of my thoughts.
a better move.
This might be part of maybe a bigger discussion. Well, it is part of a bigger discussion that we probably should be having sometime this year, maybe later this year.
So I can schedule it for a study session when we start doing budget discussions, probably
Yeah, that'd be good.
July, August,
Perfect.
if the council concurs.
I would go along with that.
I would,
Well, I think we definitely need to do something, and we could go back and pull some history of some previous years if that's something you want to look at. But we have, you know, some groups and some things that come in for some big ticket items, basically. And then we get towards 3/4 of the year and the money's gone. I think we should.
What the criteria on the application process we have in place right now. I think it's number 4 or 5. we do have a lot of discretion. If we look like we're overspending, we can donate or request could be cut in half, or we have a lot of discretion. I just think, we're into the year already now, we've got 3 applicants already, we act on each one individually, and we have to be naughty, nice, or whatever, we have to do it, so.
So I haven't interacted with the league much, but they do consultations on various things. Would it be possible to have someone maybe drop in on that study session so we can pick their brains on,
Sure.
like, what are other cities doing, what are best
Or we
practices?
I'm on a listserv, Sean is on a listserv, we can reach out to clerks and administrators from other, other cities. Not every city has a municipal liquor store.
Mhm.
And so how they use, some cities this might not apply to, some cities handle their liquor reserves and their liquor profits differently than what we do, so. We can just do an overall general inquiry and bring that all back as part of an overall discussion as we start setting the 2027 budget.
Oh, I think we should, because when I was thinking about ideas, I'm like, I wonder what other cities do, because that's what I do, right? And, I feel like we kind of have a problem because the research that I did is saying that Minnesota City cannot directly donate public funds to a nonprofit scholarship program. So let's just say the ambassadors, what they want is us to fund the entire scholarship program for $2,500 when we are not, according to this, supposed to do that at all.
Are they talking tax dollars or are they talking?
Minnesota City generally cannot directly donate public funds to a nonprofit scholarship program unless there's specific state statute or charter authority granting that power. As gifts of public funds must serve a clear public purpose and avoid private benefits. Cities can, however, contract with nonprofits for services like running the scholarship program or create their own public scholarship fund. Okay, so that's just one of them. So then I went into, let's just talk about the Lions Pancake Breakfast, because they're here tonight asking for money. A Minnesota city generally cannot just give money to a nonprofit for a fundraiser, which is what this is, it's a fundraiser. So, as public funds must serve a clear public purpose and a private gift, however, cities can contract with nonprofits for specific services. So what it's saying, when I read through it all, is we could contract the Lions to cook the pancake breakfast if it was our city event. But we can't give them money to help fund their fundraiser.
So, and I'm not a legal beagle. So, and I think the league actually has a part of their safety, they do an annual safety symposium, for lack of a better term, every April. One of the topics is, can you fund that this time go around? And so I was intending on applying or attending that, I was intending on attending that session in April. My question to the league would be, is there a differentiation between public tax dollars raised by the levy versus profits that a larger audience generates? So that in my mind is where the distinction is. Now, whether for right or wrong, good or bad, I can't answer that question tonight.
Yeah, there's even something that we aren't supposed to be contributing or having our contribution cover our membership dues to the chamber.
Let me just chime in.
Yeah, because, I mean, I don't want us to be doing something wrong if we don't.
Right, and I'm gonna look into this further as well. But I think Michelle touched on the exact issue. I don't know the number off the top of my head, but I'm highly confident there is actually statutory authority that specifically authorizes the distribution of liquor store funds for this purpose that's outside of the general prohibition about utilizing general tax dollars for the same thing. So I'll look into that to make sure that we're all on the same page, but that I think, I'm curious to know, are you looking at, the memo or?
It's in the email, when I got it.
Yeah, no, but thank you.
Yeah, there's a link to the leagues, there's a link to the leagues,
Nick was already being nosy.
yeah,
Okay.
there's a link to the leagues.
But I think it's safe to say we've been interpreting this for, as long as I've been around. It's been allowable. To donate liquor profit funds outside of the levy is not a,
If we confirm though, then we can maybe put it in a policy so that if it ever does come up, we can like cite it and say, here's why we do this.
so to my knowledge, that's my only first time it ever came up.
Well,
Again, Nick.
Well, I'm not saying it's right or wrong, I'm just saying it's the first time it ever came up.
yeah, I mean, I wanna make
What do you
sure we're not
suggest?
doing something wrong before
Are you
we.
suggesting we table everything then until we find out?
I would suggest that until Damien and Michelle can do a little more, make sure we haven't been doing something wrong at this time, like.
Council,
I would motion to table the grant requests until we confirm everything is
May
covered in kosher.
I suggest that we put a date certain of,
That makes sense. The next,
just so that,
I'm sure they
Yeah.
wanna know.
yeah, so I would say,
Get
Can we present so we don't have to come back?
Yeah, probably.
yeah.
wait, has there been a second to the motion?
I'll second the motion.
No, don't second the motion because a tabling motion is not debatable.
I don't think the second.
If you second the motion, a tabling motion is not debatable, which means we can't do anything else. You have to act on the motion or
We can't do presentation.
you
Yeah,
can do
Oh, I
presentations.
so just let my motion die and then,
Let them do their
Reapproach.
presentation,
yeah.
since they're all here.
And then when you remake the motion, could we set it for February
Yes.
12th? Because then Damien and I will have a
Yep,
deadline.
is that enough time?
Yes, we'll
Yeah.
make it enough time.
Good.
We would love to see
Present
that.
and-
Yep,
Table after each.
correct.
Okay.
Yeah, well, I would let both groups present. And then because they're together under one item, I would just table item 7.3 to February.
Okay, the Lions are on first, so you guys go ahead.
Sure. Good evening. My name is Doug Biggs. I'm the one whose name is on this document, if you've had a chance to read through it. First and foremost, our motto is reserve. So, any help we get from the city on, or the Wine and Spirits grant for this is generally returned as donations we make to all the various charities throughout the town and area. And so, for 30 years, we've been doing this fly-in breakfast. I myself are just a 2-year Lion, so a lot of this is, pre me being around, but doing it now for 2 years, I'm impressed with, all the things we do. So anyhow, we've done the pancake breakfast for about 30 years. And the last 3 years or so, we've partnered with Flight Expo to help kind of enhance what's been going on out there on that day. So they bring out their aircraft and do a show and tell of things and explain, what they do for the youth training and so forth. And we came up with the idea this year that we thought it would be really neat if we could get these old planes to fly around the town, maybe once, or land at the airport, do a demonstration with an MC out there talking about these aircraft, and then take off again. And we feel that this would, not only help us, but help the town. I mean, we don't have a giant rubber duck this year, but these airplanes would probably be, a pretty good draw to make people come around. So we're asking for $2,300, $600 each for 3 aircraft, 2 T6 trainers and 1 I forgot what it was. Yeah, T-34. And then additional $500 to cover the professional MC to come in and talk about that aircraft, and perhaps additional like pylons or something that we might need to set up the demonstration area. And in a nutshell, that's about it. Does anybody have any questions that I or my cohorts could answer?
If the Lions Club request, would it be safe to say that you're working kind of with Flight Expo on this project?
Yes, we are working with Flight Expo.
That certainly should be a benefit.
Yeah,
Obviously.
yeah. Yeah, ours and theirs benefit.
Yeah, you put together a good presentation, I'll say that.
Hmm.
They all come in then?
All right, well, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So, Chamber?
Good evening, everyone. Did everybody get the letter? Okay, so all I want to do is just kind of point out some things that I put together in that proposal. Talking about some things. Basically, I went through all the different ways that we collaborate every year, the chamber and the city. The first thing I listed on here was Age Friendly Princeton, which we've collaborated on since the organization began. And something that we've started in 2026 is we are now putting out a newsletter. And so people in the community can sign up for the newsletter. Without a community center, it's really hard to reach people, particularly seniors in the community, to let them know what's going on. So that's one way. We've heard from adult children who are looking for things to do for their parents and just wondering what they can do. Maybe the spouse has died and they just are looking for something to do. So that's kind of what we came up with as an email. So let me know if anybody wants to get on that email. It's really for all ages. It's not just for seniors, but that was kind of who we had in mind when we started it. The Rum River Festival, as Doug mentioned, no large rubber duck this year, world's largest rubber duck, but we are doing a throwback this year. So we're going to kind of focus on the way the Rum River Festival used to be prior to it being the Rum River Festival. So originally it was called the Flower Festival. Then it moved into the Polka Festival and then the Rum River Festival. So we're gonna have a polka band. The Civic Betterment Club is working on different flowers that we can do to kind of focus on all those different things. And, you know, just to kind of piggyback on what Doug said, that the pancake breakfast is, as far as we're concerned, part of the Rum River Festival. And last year we had things happening on Sunday because the big duck was still here, but we're just gonna do Thursday parade, Friday, Saturday stuff down in that parking lot, but nothing planned beside the breakfast on Sunday. So the goal always is to bring people into our community. We were bringing in 40,000 people when that big duck was here. So anything we can do to bring people in is really important, to be spending money in our community and giving our economy a little boost while they're here. And then in the winter, we just wrapped up Light Up Princeton and the Mini Dazzle Parade. Thanks to your generous donation last year, we were able to purchase a 40-foot storage container that the fairgrounds has been so kind to let us store on their property. And what that did is freed up a large amount of space in the green garage, I think is what they call it, or the green, I don't know what it's called out there, but we were able to move everything out of there. So now we have everything on site at the fairgrounds, and Public Works has a little more room in the garage, which is really nice. And then part of this year, so normally I come back around Light Up Princeton time and request a $2,500 grant as kind of a pass-through grant. So the city of Princeton used to donate $2,500 to the groups that were helping us set up and take down.
It's actually been 2,000.
Last year it was 25, I think.
Yeah, it was 2,500 because their total grant request was 12,500.
And we do 500. 25, yeah, we do 5 groups.
It was 2,000 the year before.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's gone up.
yeah. So we basically have 5 groups, 3 that help us set up, 2 that help us take down, and then it's kind of pass through money You guys give it to the chamber, we pass it on to them. So that's included this year instead of me coming back in the winter to ask for an additional $2,500. And then Jenny, just to, address the membership, actually Keith told me a couple years ago that that was true for public utilities. He found out the membership. So we've never signed them up for membership, but I still treat them, you know, they can do morning networking things and treat them. And that's the way I've kind of done with the city too. You guys don't fill out an application and do that kind of thing, just to make sure everything's kind of on the up and up. It's so I wrap it into here and kind of show you the dollar amount, you know, that it goes toward if you were to purchase the ad package and be a member and be a sponsor for the Remember Festival and all the things that we put the city of Princeton on. I just kind of include that in there. So just for clarity on that. Yeah, I think that's about it. Everything else was really in the letter. So any questions on any of this?
Detailed every time, but
Yeah, and we just work so much together. I mean, we work, the city and the chamber, it's like I mentioned last year, there are communities that don't have this relationship and it makes it very difficult on both, you know, both organizations. So I'm just really grateful for the good working relationship, except Todd, but you guys.
Tim, while we're doing our homework on our end, would you be willing to look into like other creative partnership ideas between chambers and cities, like how other chambers and cities that are not the less successful ones, but maybe like,
Yeah.
if there's other ideas in terms of funding and partnership and
Mhm.
things like that, like we were looking into service contracts for various things, if there's, you're the Chamber of Commerce and Tourism, so you're bringing tourism to Princeton, and so I
Yeah.
feel like there's something I just am not intelligent enough to have already put together.
that's a recent expansion on their part, the chamber.
Yeah, a
They
couple years ago.
expanded The tourism,
Mhm.
arena, which is very what, a couple, 3 years.
I think this is our third year. And also, we're working on a 250th anniversary of the United States. So we have a committee working on that right now too, to figure out how we can promote that this summer as well. Mhm.
And the 4th of July will be the big day,
Right.
with the Legion's a part of it and others.
And it happens to be on a Saturday, and so there's a lot of things we can do to bring people to town again. Mhm.
A lot of people leave town on the weekend like that too. So
True.
We gotta play it both ways.
We do get a good crowd at those fireworks, so, yeah. Mhm.
Just, you probably don't have that number on top of your head, but what is your total budget? I don't know how to even describe that or define that, but you wouldn't have that number.
You mean the whole chamber's budget? It's around 100,000, I'd say. That's probably 80 to 100. I don't have the exact number. I would have to
So the
look
fund
at
to
it.
raise, well, membership, of course.
Membership is our biggest way of, you know, and so then like, we also get that lodging tax money that passes through the city. That goes into a whole separate account and we don't even have that in our general budget.
That's kind of restricted, right? You can use that for, I suppose.
Exactly, yeah. Mhm. And that has, for your information too, that has slowly increased over the last 3 years. Because I figure originally we were trying to do the math on what we thought it might be. And I remember the gas was around 38,000.
Yep.
And I think this year, that's what we're gonna land at. So it took a couple of, years to get there, but it's slowly going up, which is really nice.
People coming to town then. huh?
Yep. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Anybody else have anything for Kim?
It was great. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Great work.
Okay, now we need to do the formal table.
So that was February 12th, correct, would be the next one.
Yes,
So
and
the
then
next-
we'll have all 3 applications on the agenda with the ambassadors and the Lions and the chamber, so.
Okay, so I would motion to table a decision on those 3 requests until the February 12th regular council meeting.
We have a motion,
Sorry.
second, on favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carries. Move on to the bill list.
Not one question.
I do.
Well, I had one.
Oh.
I called in. All right, but that's okay.
Believe me, I'm not asking this because I'd have to cancel any cruises or anything, but didn't their raise kick in or? No, we did vote ourselves a raise.
Are you talking about payroll?
Yeah.
They had to take out the Minnesota's.
No, but we,
Minnesota.
well, yeah, that was, but that was still in the old payroll. We're in the new year now, aren't we?
Yeah, it should be on, pay period 2, the check register for pay period 2. It should be the new year, and I did not,
It's the same number as the last one.
yep, I'll, remind Lynn, and then you'll just get a bump. So,
I'm not worried about it.
Yeah. I'll just check with Lynn.
I just, well, yeah.
That could have been an oversight on my part. And failure to, we have a failure to communicate.
Yeah.
Alright.
I'm just a little curious that it did. I'm a little bit, looking out for myself a little bit sometimes.
We did take out like 43 cents out of our checks for that.
Oh, I think cancel cruise.
Yeah, bad deal.
Yeah. Anybody else have any questions? I move to approve the January 22, 2026 check register containing checks 90020 to 90045 and ACH payments 251852 to 251885 in the amount of $728,253.99. And the pay period 1 check register containing checks 260-11001 to 260-11061 in the amount of $185,038.22, and the pay period 2 check register containing checks 260-21001 to 260-21097 in the amount of $211,810.
Motion.
Second?
Second, yeah, further questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That carries. So the checks by sign will be good. Okay, administrative report, Michelle.
In the interest of, not taking up any more time than necessary, I'll leave the report stand as written unless you have questions.
Didn't have any.
Nothing.
Okay, we'll move on to committee reports.
I had a camera meeting, but Kim just told you guys what they talked about.
Eric still attended the Historical Society meeting yesterday. I don't know what she got out of it. Actually, it was a very short meeting for us. But it wasn't a lot of sidetrack. But I'm sure you'll find it interesting.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
And then next week we'll have our public utilities meeting, and Nick will get his first shot at it.
And I attended the planning commission meeting and Ben did a great job.
Oh, they're great.
And everyone else. I did have a question on that, though. I was kind of lost in the moment as things were happening, but, the officer positions were selected, but we hadn't selected new commission members yet. Would that needed to have waited or, okay, because I mean, if you're new and maybe you're not gonna be chair, because you're not sure what's happening.
No, it's really clear. on-
Yes.
It's one position.
And he didn't get elected.
That's a good question.
Absolutely. I was looking at plats and trying to figure out what different shapes and numbers were, so.
Even try.
It's gonna take a while.
That's why we hired her.
Yes.
Right, anybody else got anything?
Motion to adjourn?
Motion is made to adjourn. Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All right.
Opposed, that carries.